And he was the guy. And
Yeah.
he'd come to the park and he'd walk his panther around. We'd fucking pet the panther. He's like, it's okay. You know, he's fucking tons of steroids and coke and just.
Yeah.
And he was the guy, and he was stoic, and he was big, and he was strong, and I was a kid.
Yeah.
You know,
Domingo.
And I looked, and and I have a funny story, so I'll tell you how it happened. Wow, this is back to the thing. Like, I don't know why God picked me. You know.
Yeah.
So I'm fucking up, and I have this friend, this great friend, this guy George, and he's my guy, but he's getting in trouble a lot, and he gets popped, you know, for some bullshit, stealing a car or something, I can't remember. But he gets out, he robs this drug dealer's chain, and we're sitting there, and the Sons shows the, all of us, I said, you know, we were all like, that's a bad idea. We're at this party, he robs his chain, and he beats him up, and we're like, fuck, he shouldn't have done that. He's so and so's son.
Yeah.
And so we all have lunch out. I went to Miami High. We all have lunch out in this kind of like parking area. And all of a sudden, this dude pulls up in this fucking badass Jaguar, you know? Gets out, the big chain. Who stole my fucking son's chain? You know what I mean? And he pulls out this fucking 45. And he's like, who stole my fucking son's chain? You know? And George, who was really, you know, he had a lot of balls. You know, he was one of those guys, and, you know, he's got caught up in the system and stuff like that. But he was one of those guys who, like, was really sensitive, but also really tough. You know, he was strong. He was one of those guys who just, his bones were just strong. And he stood up and he said, I stole the fucking chain. He was like, get on your fucking knees. And he was going to shoot him in the head. And we were all sitting there, we were all petrified. And it was this moment where it's like, do I jump up and try to tackle this guy? He's really big. Do we all get together? None of us knew what to do. We were kind of choked.
How old are you?
Oh, God. 16?
Wow.
And I'd seen stuff like this before, but, you know, with a buddy, you know?
Yeah.
And so, you know, he starts to go onto his knees, and I'm like, fuck, he's going to fucking execute him right here. And he knocks the gun out of his fucking hand, and he just fucking makes a beeline. The guy's dad grabs the gun and just starts shooting. We're at high school.
Yeah.
Openly just starts firing. So the story is George ran off, and he fucking got shot in the arm, and he didn't know he was shot. And I don't know, something about that and several other things. I saw this direction that was really bad, and I was a reinventor. You know what I mean?
What do you mean?
Well, because I'd go to all these different high schools and all these different places, and every time I'd have to reinvent myself.
Right.